Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. You think about it, we rant about it. Listen to us live on Facebook.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is now noon somewhere, morning somewhere else, and afternoon in South Florida and in Montreal. My partner, David Solomon, is over to my left, but sometimes he's on my right. And I really don't know which way you're seeing this. You know, we've been doing this since February of this year. And I was joking with David last night on the phone that it's been a year. And this is a topic that we actually covered back in February, March, approximately. I don't know the podcast number, but I think maybe, David, when you get a chance, if you don't mind reposting that podcast as well, we were talking about Target and gender neutrality and stuff like that. But David, I hear the gender neutrality business is growing strong in the state of California.
Well, it's actually funny what you say there, because
I'm
you would
funny?
think, funny, because you would think that, listen, the whole notion of gender neutrality in terms of, let's say, toys or in terms of clothes or whatever has become the norm in retail. I mean, what we used to call unisex is now called gender neutral, but it's actually become a norm. And you're seeing more and more retailers starting to realize that this is really what the market is wanting to do. Now, for me, my trouble isn't that. My trouble is the notion of the nanny state, and the nanny state being the state of California that passed into law this week, forcing big retailers to have gender neutral toy sections. Now, to me, it isn't about that they should have it or not. What in God's name is California doing again? The nanny state once again rears its ugly head and says to Walmart, Target, Toys R Us, all the big retailers, we need to tell you how to run a business. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, you're in the wrong. And we're going to tell you what to do, because we are the state of California, because we have managed our budgets well. We have controlled the energy crisis well. We have solved the problem with immigration and poverty in all of our cities. But we feel compelled to tell Walmart, Target, and Toys R Us that by 2024, because that's when it goes in, you must have gender-neutral toy sections. Stuart, what the bleep is California thinking about?
Listen, we talked about in another broadcast, G.I. Joan and G.I. Jane and the regurgitations of franchises. We talked about I'm wearing blue. Like, why does blue have to be boys? It doesn't. But if I put it in a section and call it gender neutral, does that mean it's gender neutral? Like, it's totally nonsense. I don't understand listen, I have friends, family lives in California. We talked about them too. And he ran, I think, the Kennedy election, Bobby Kennedy's election campaign. I think he did all the video work for Bobby Kennedy. And, some people just drink Kool-Aid and they don't get off of it. Walmart didn't do it. Target did it. How does a government have the nerve to tell you what business does a government do that's ever been successful?
But that's never, zero. But I'll tell you, but this is the crazy thing, is that, what they're saying here is that the law applies to retailers with 500 or more employees. So it's not going to be the small little boutique, thank God, because God knows what they're going to do to them next. And the stupid fines are like $250, $500. They're dumb fines. Okay. To me, it's a nominal thing what they've tried to pull off here. But what I don't get, and this is where I'm completely whatever, if the woke culture has tried to convince us that when we start dealing with things in gender, it's bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Monopoly? Are you telling me now I have to have a section? I have to take the Monopoly out of the game section, the board game section, and put it into this gender neutral section because, I'll tell you another level of stupidity where government got involved and where people are stupid. Okay, how many people out there do not know that Subway is a restaurant? right? They serve sandwiches. They've done a phenomenal job marketing. Oh, the Quebec government here, by the way, in their nanny state mindset said, we need you to tell people that you are a restaurant. The same way they told Costco that they're a store. The same way they told Walmart they're a store. Really? I need to, are people that dumb? The state of California has done the same thing. You're dumbing down the citizens of your state by saying you're too stupid to figure out what toy or game or whatever to buy. So we're going to dictate to Walmart and Target and the rest of those guys to enforce a section so that you will find the gender neutral toys. I don't know. If you have a Barbie doll, I mean, like, what? I don't understand. Like, take Lego, for example, Stuart, right? Lego has decided it's going to it's going back to gender neutral, right? They're going to offer these gender neutral. But I didn't know that pastel colors couldn't be played with by boys. By contrast, I didn't know that hard colors like red and blue and green and yellow couldn't be played by girls. Like, what has gone so wrong?
Since when space Lego was all boys?
Wow.
You know, if you spoke to Robert Wiseman, I mean, he would tell you Lego's only for boys. And, you know, he used to have all the space Lego and the
but that was in 1970. That was in the 1970s. We're in 2021. Yeah. Parents are very different today. Believe you me, I could tell you that it's, you know, we argued about the gender neutral clothing a while back, and that's not what I'm talking about. It's that the government of the state of California has to insist that retailers spend more money because the citizens of California are too ignorant, stupid, naive, call it whatever you want, to find the right toy or game for a child. Not maybe their child, but a child. Sorry, get out of it. You're in the wrong sandbox. Governor Newsom once again shows, like I said, did you solve the problem of the homeless in San Francisco and the impoverished? Did you fix your energy crisis? No. Let's waste taxpayers' time and money on something that is really none of your goddamn business. Really? Telling Walmart that if you want to run in the state of California, you have to have a gender neutral section for toys.
Well, Target doesn't. Target already does it.
No, Target does it for clothes. This is now toys. This is a mandate from the government who says you have to. What if I choose not to? Or what are we telling people? That when I walk up and down the aisles, I have, you know, it's funny, by going to gender neutral, you're saying that everything else is gender based.
Well, I mean, listen. The left has been divisive. It's a socialism methodology by dividing a population and breaking it down. If you can isolate different groups and infuriate different groups, you'll end up getting everyone fighting with everyone over every little thing. And this sneaky little socialistic dictatorship gets built in. This is the plan. Buy into the shit, and they're going to shovel it until there's no tomorrow.
But to me, I get the divisiveness and the attitude and whatever. But to me, what this government happens to be Democrat, take it for what you want to call it for.
Yep.
Where does it end? When does the government stay out of your life and let you live? Because I could tell you here in Quebec, we're choked by the way the government likes to get involved in your life. It's in your life in so many different ways. And now it's doing this. This is, where does it go from here, people? This is not about, like, yeah, the policy is dumb and whatever, but think about what will be next. What will be the next law? Right? Really? What?
I don't know. What is next, David?
I don't know, but if Governor Newsom thinks that this is a good idea, that toy retailers, large toy retailers, must be told how to properly merchandise and to show product to consumers because gender neutral. What's next? I mean, God forbid a girl will leave Toys R Us with a Barbie doll. Is she going to be
There is
attacked
no
by
more
someone
Toys
in
R
the
Us.
store? Of
David,
course there is. Toys R Us is coming back. But if we leave
it's
a
coming
Target,
back.
it's coming back. If Target or Walmart, a girl was to leave with a Barbie doll, is she going to be vilified because she didn't get a gender-neutral toy?
Wow.
Oh, wait a minute. Is a doll gender neutral? Well, according to Newsom,
David,
no.
I got to tell you, I'm utterly speechless on the subject. I don't
That's
even
rare.
know
That's rare
how
for
to
you.
respond because it's just so fucking stupid.
Well,
I'm sorry. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. I've heard in the last 2 years or less some of the dumbest stuff that's ever been known to man. And today, David, I stand or I sit before you. I am utterly
well,
speechless.
let me give you how stupid California thinks of its citizens. The law reads as follows, and this is absolutely phenomenal. Keeping similar items that are traditionally marketed either for girls or for boys separated makes it more difficult for the consumer to compare the products and incorrectly implies that their use by one gender is inappropriate. Are we really that dumb? Are people who live in California unable to differentiate between toys, games? I mean, if really are people that dumb? Have Mattel and Hasbro, who are multi-billion-dollar corporations, Stuart, who have millions and hundreds of millions of dollars of advertising, okay? Hundreds of millions of dollars of advertising. You're telling me that between the retailer and the toy companies, people cannot distinguish the toy or the game that they really want to get? I mean,
David,
on.
it's the expression that's being coined is woke or broke. Now, when they say broke, they're saying having no money, but I'm using woke or broke, meaning broken. Because if your company is starting to cater to all of these things, I think broken is the correct word, and broke isn't that far from being broken.
but
And it's
but
just sad.
But here's let me go on with what the law wrote. This is just beautiful. The segregation of toys by a social construct of what is appropriate for which gender is the antithesis of modern thinking. Whose modern thinking? Whose? You're now telling me this is the enforcement of the breakdown of gender? I mean, you're telling me that, the social construct, we should not be talking male, female, boys, girls. We should never be talking like that. You know what? I don't care what a toy you play with. If a boy wants to play with a Barbie doll, let's stereotype for just a second, and a girl wants to play with G.I. Joe, I could care less.
My wife is a kindergarten teacher. 5-year-olds.
Yep.
One kid decided to kiss another kid.
Okay.
Can I tell you that one parent is going absolutely bananas? Because one boy kissed another boy.
Yeah.
Now, at 5 years old, kids are learning social interactions. Maybe
They're learning.
maybe the father kisses his son on the lips, which is not uncommon in some cultures.
Whatever.
And, maybe he saw two people kissing. I mean, remember, kids that are 5 years old typically don't see race, color, or creed, or gender.
Or gender.
So, what are we trying to people are mistaking how bad CRT is, how bad the control in the classroom, and what this actually means. Some people are just blowing this issue over. David got, as my witness, this is the collapse if we don't get involved sooner. And you know what? I got faith that whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, this is going to set you off.
I don't
David,
understand. To me, I know still we're almost at the quarter hour, but to me, it's like we don't need to dummy down our population any further. And believe in me, the social construct that continues to occur, okay, in our society, to continue to tell me that I need to degenderify I think that it's a little bit nonsensical. If parents want to go out and buy any toy or game for their child, please do so. Please
Yeah.
do so. And I want to tell you something. It isn't the children that are born with all of these thoughts in their head. It's the parents who put this crap, and society who puts this crap into their
Or
head.
the schools,
And the schools, it's the teachers and whatever. And as someone who teaches at McGill, I want to tell you the influence we have is absolutely powerful. And again, you are molding the minds of the future. So to tell me that gender has no place in society and that we need to be like this, as Governor Newsom and his idiots are putting through in law, Stuart, I'm afraid for the future. On that
Dave,
note,
what do we got?
Listen, folks, we're hitting the quarter hour, but so I was a bit shocked by an op-ed piece that appeared in a paper that talked about that it is impossible, Stuart, impossible. I loved it. It was impossible for journalists to be providing both sides of a political story. This was appearing in the LA Times, and it is absolutely, journalists are failing the public. This is the op-ed piece, and we're going to discuss what this article said about how you're really not getting both sides of the story. On that note, Stuart,
That sounds great.
Let's say goodbye to our folks. Have a good week, everybody. See you on Friday. Enjoy the rest of Hump Day. We'll catch you on the other side on Friday at noon.